Kappa League to Kappa College, where Kappa men in executive leadership spill the secrets to success at the colleges you want to go to. And now your host, author of the award-winning College Readiness Series, Brandon Jones.
Hey, this is Brandon Jones, author of the award-winning College Readiness 101 Workbook Series, here with Kappa League TV, with the Kappa League to Kappa College series. I'm very excited. We now have Dr. Tony Allen from Delaware State University. How are you doing, Noop?
Hey, what's up, Noop? I'm doing great. Glad to be with you today.
Thank you so much for coming along. So those individuals who are going to be watching this on YouTube, and around the country, this is a series where we are going to be interviewing Kappa men who are in executive leadership in institutions of higher learning around the country. And today we have Delaware State University. So Dr. Allen, for those families who are going to be watching this, can you please just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. My name's Tony Allen. I'm the 12th president of Delaware State University. I was raised actually in Delaware. I'm real excited to be leading this grand institution. Our vision is to be the most diverse, contemporary, and unapologetic HBCU in the country. And we are really building capacity to do that because of the students who are coming to us at the highest rates they have in our 131-year history.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So president, Delaware State University, you also are very prestigious, and you actually had a role in a national presidential campaign and transition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've known President Biden for over 25 years. I used to work for him when he was a senator in Delaware as a speechwriter and special assistant, and have come to be very fond of him and his family, and have been a part of a lot of his opportunities for the country. And during this last presidential bid, obviously engaged a bit as it related to him developing public policy positions in areas I had some expertise in. And when he was president-elect, served on his transition team. And then he asked me to lead his presidential inaugural, which I was happy to do, and build some capacity for it really to be an inaugural that represented the whole of the country. And have since then been appointed by him to chair the White House Advisory Board on HBCUs, which I am doing today alongside Tennessee State President and good friend of mine, Dr. Glenda Glover.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So not only are you working and helping and making an impact on students on your campus, but students around the country who attended a HBCU like myself, Albany State University grad.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to get a chance to talk with you about the things that you've done. So thank you so much for working for HBCUs. All right.
Yep.
So to be a college president, you obviously had to go to college. Tell us a little bit about your educational background. Kind of what was that like for you as you was matriculating through your education?
Well, I'm a first generation college student. My father never finished the 11th grade. My mother was a teenage mom. But they knew that really the only thing they could provide is these bridge and access opportunities to college as they built capacity for my professional career, sort of the foundation of my professional career. They were great people, raised me in beautiful ways. Both my father, Lamar Allen, and my mother, Letha Allen, are no longer here. But I know that their guidance really shaped me in a big way. So I went to University of Delaware on a full scholarship, which was great for our family for any number of reasons.
Right.
And then started my career a bit as a drug prevention specialist in a community center. I also worked for a children's home on the weekends. Helped start an organization called Public Allies, which is a leadership development organization for young adults 18 to 30 who are interested in public service. From there, went to grad school at Baruch College, part of the City University of New York system. And really, from that moment, really wanted to focus on public policy as a practitioner, but also wanted to get my PhD. So went back to University of Delaware, got a PhD in urban affairs and public policy. In that time, that's when I was working for Senator Biden. So I actually was working full time and working on my PhD. and then started the Urban League with another great Kappa man, a Morgan State Alpha Iota chapter brother named Jim Gilliam, Sr., who was just incredible for me, a really incredible mentor. So we started the Urban League together, spent 15 years in banking after that. And ultimately, an opportunity came up for me to do what my mother told me I should be doing, which is I should be working in education. And I became provost, which is the chief academic officer of an institution. Did that for 3 years, and in January of 2020, became the president of Delaware State.
Became the president and making a huge impact. So as a Kappa man, you know, I always love meeting other Kappa men. So I wanted to ask you kind of what was that experience like for you? Where did you cross, and what was Kappa like for you when you came through?
You know, I crossed in the spring of 1989, April 14th at 6:41 p.m. New Z chapter. And I'm really, really proud of that experience. My line brothers are some of my best friends in the world. When I actually pledged, one of the reasons I pledged was because Kappa men had really been in my life throughout my growing up. And they were doing it in quiet ways. They weren't boasting about Kappa. I just happened to find out that they were Kappas. There was this organization called the Forum to Advance Minorities in Engineering that took sixth graders, put them in this pre-college program for 6 years, and ultimately got them in college, and many of us full scholarships to college.
Wow.
That organization was led by 3 Kappa men. And then the guy I cherished as my big brother in the world, who actually became the godfather to my firstborn son, was a Kappa man by the time I got to the University of Delaware. So I was particularly focused on becoming a Kappa as soon as I got to college. I pledged a freshman year.
Wow. Okay. You can't do that in most colleges.
Well, I actually took a summer course to get 9 credits.
Get those credit hours. Got you.
Across the threshold as a result. So Kappa changed my life in lots of different ways. It's hard to really articulate it, except to say that when we talk about achievement in every field of human endeavor and what that means and how we apply our professional and personal disciplines to everything we put our mind to, I think about the importance of our founders. I think about the importance of our brotherhood and what that means for our families and communities throughout the world.
Wow. And every Kappa man says that. I was exposed, and I was helped, and I was, you know, just a lot of things that Kappa men did in their lives. So I think that you're no different. Everybody has a story of how they were guided. So my last question for you, Dr. Allen, is just it's about you at your institution, and we're talking about how do you feel that you and your team, you and your administration, how you are making an impact on the students that are on your campus.
You know, we're trying to focus on students first, putting them at the center of everything we do, which is important in how you build capacity at college and universities, right? I see my students as our primary stakeholders. If we can get it right with them, recognizing that they are coming from all different backgrounds and experience. I told you that Delaware State seeks to be the most diverse, contemporary, and unapologetic HBCU in the country. When we talk about that, we see it as building a comprehensive institution that can really focus on access for anyone who wants to come and build capacity for themselves, their families, and their communities. And in so doing, I always say that we will make you an exceptional professional at whatever discipline that you seek. But we're also interested in making exceptional citizens, people who understand the notion of giving back. Our motto is enter to learn, go forth to serve. And we take that to heart in everything we do. So there is a special secret sauce, I think, around all HBCUs because we've been doing more with less for a long time.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I think we're the best return on investment in higher education. When you think about the 3,000 four-year college universities across the country, only 3% are HBCUs, yet we're still producing nearly 20% of all Black graduates. It is heartening, and I think a clarion call for my faculty and staff as we go to work every day. So we take all of that very seriously. I can tell you, Brand, that the UNCF produced a report last year that effectively looked at what it takes to get into the American middle class. And for a low-resourced African American to get into the American middle class today, the number one indicator for that movement is their attendance at an HBCU, which I think is quite powerful and important, and the untold story of these wonderful institutions of ours.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think that everybody, should have that experience. I love my Black college experience. I love my Black college football experience. This is just something that is near and dear to me. So I'm not going to push my Albany State University on. We're talking about Delaware State University today, but
That's all right.
I loved my HBCU experience, and I am helping students get there as well. So thank you so much for what you're doing there at Delaware State.
Thank you.
So that is it, Dr. Tony Allen there. We talked about him. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Delaware State University. All right, and we are back with Dr. Tony Allen from Delaware State University. We're going to be in the second half of our conversation. So, Dr. Allen, if you would just tell us a little bit about Delaware State University, so those college-bound students who may be interested can get a little bit more about kind of where you physically are.
Well, Brandon, as I told you, we're a 131-year-old university, and we are located in Dover, Delaware, but we're statewide. So we have a campus in Wilmington, which is the major metropolitan city in Delaware, and also campuses below us in the southern part of the state. But our main campus is one of the most beautiful HBCU campuses you'll see. We host about 6,000 students. That's more students at Delaware State than we've had in our entire history. We are a comprehensive institution, have about $160 million portfolio, about $19 million in research spend, and another $30 million in actual research grants and the like. And we build capacity for our students to really take advantage of a multiplicity of disciplines that they might have some interest in. Some of those programs are mass marketing, communications. We obviously have a full STEM discipline in our College of Agriculture, Science, and Technology. And we have a College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, which includes nursing, social work, public and allied health, and the like. And overall, our majors, upwards of about 65 majors, undergraduate majors, another 20 or so masters, and then 7 doctoral programs. And when you think about some of those majors that pique folks' interest, I'll give you one great example. We have an aviation program. So we have a full service aviation program. We own about 22 planes, and we teach aviation and aviation management, so the aviation industry and how to be a pilot. And I'm proud to say that more pilots of color come through Delaware State University than any other place in the country.
Wow.
So and it's a bit of a best kept secret that we're trying to make sure the world understands as well. But those, you can find yourself at Delaware State. I think our range of disciplines and how we take care of our students really builds capacity for them to go into the world and do well. About 86% of our students are in their field of study professionally or in grad school about 6 months after graduation. Which is huge for us. So we want to make sure that we are providing the opportunities for you to learn while you're here, but we also want you placed and in your pursuing your dreams right after graduation.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So this aviation program that you have, I think we definitely want to highlight that for those students who are interested, that you can find an aviation program at an HBCU, right? Yep. So that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. So for those families who are getting ready to have some juniors and seniors who are coming up, and they're going to be starting to apply to college, one of the big things that all the parents want to know, all the kids want to know, is admissions requirements, right? And can I afford to go to this? Because there are scholarship opportunities. So currently right now at Delaware State, what is kind of the admissions requirements for somebody who is looking forward to attending?
Look, I wouldn't call them requirements. I would say guideposts. Let's just put it that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
So if you have a 2.75 or doing something around a 950 on the SAT, there's no question we're going to admit you to Delaware State, assuming that you've taken the right classes in high school. And that's important, making sure that you're building capacity for those classes. Those classes in high school count, particularly in the hard sciences and writing. Having said that, we try to open ourselves up and be accountable for those folks who have either been underserved by their public school experience or just have not had doors open to them. So we create unique opportunities, usually through other programs. I'll give you two examples. We have a relationship with a place called Midnight Golf, which is in Detroit. Those students have been in a pre-college program for the bulk of their lives, really. And our admissions comes to them, gives them a sense of what it takes to come to Delaware State and brings them to the campus as well. And we've had great opportunities in bringing folks from Detroit to Delaware, which is halfway across the country. Same is true for what we do in DC. There's a program called DC CAP that, again, is another admissions vehicle for us. So we work with existing pre-college programs for students who might otherwise have a little trouble getting into college. That helps us build a nice pipeline as well. So I'd say on balance, if you're interested in Delaware State and really being able to pursue your dreams, if you can make the case to us, we look at the whole student in making our admissions decisions.
Okay. Perfect. That's so good to know that, because one of the things that a lot of families are doing is just looking on the websites and they're making decisions just based off information. But the beautiful thing about this is they actually get a chance to hear from you, the president of the institution, to talk about, what we're actually doing to accept students into our institution. So that's amazing. That's amazing. One of the other opportunities that parents are going to be looking for are scholarship or funding opportunities. Are there, full tuition scholarship opportunities and other funding options that students may be able to take advantage of?
There are, and that's normally for our higher performing students. So if you are in the 3.5 range and up from a GPA perspective, and have good scores on your SAT or ACT, it's likely that you'll qualify for a presidential scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship as well. I can tell you too, in Delaware, and I know this is a national program, but in Delaware, just last year, we were able to get legislation that effectively said, if you're a Delaware graduating senior with a 2.75 and a commitment to public service, the state of Delaware will pay full 4-year tuition free to attend Delaware State University. And that's been a big boost to us for Delaware students as well. But we have a range of scholarship opportunities once you are admitted. And then what our students don't take advantage of enough is there are lots of scholarship opportunities throughout the year. So we have about a $40 million endowment. A lot of that goes to support scholarships as well. We usually each year make sure that our students understand the range of scholarships that are available to them at the university and the national scholarships, Thurgood Marshall College Fund, United Negro College, all of those opportunities. I always say that if you are focused and committed to reducing your college debt at an HBCU, there are ways for you to get full tuition scholarships and sometimes full scholarships, including room and board. So I don't think that should be a barrier for anyone. Obviously, we work with financial aid and the like with respect to what you're eligible for. But beyond that, we do think that there are scholarship opportunities that can supplement the education as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I only have 2 more questions for you, Dr. Allen, and I'm going to be out of your hair. One of the big things, and this is what I do when I work with students here in Atlanta and around the country, is we try to get a nugget from an educator and administrator is kind of what advice would you give, a young student, maybe a young family who's getting ready to go on this college preparatory journey, or is getting ready to apply, getting ready to transition, in these different stages of the process. is there any advice? Is there one piece of advice that you would give somebody who's getting ready to prepare for a college education?
I guess there are three things actually. I think you need to build a profile that feels like a well-developed whole person. So yes, take care of business in the classroom, but also we want to see you engaged in your respective communities, right? That could be playing sports. It could be how you give back to your community, but just making sure that you are well-rounded in that regard, and that you showcase that to us when you're applying. That's one. The second thing goes back to your original question, which was, how do you pay for college? Don't let paying for college be a barrier to you.
Right.
And for most folks, that means really pushing those scholarship applications, which are numerous across the country, but usually go underutilized by students and families. Really important that if you can push out 20 to 25 scholarship applications in a given year as you're looking for college, you're gonna net some real results. But you got to be focused on doing that. Right. And I say that as much to the students as I do to the parents, because it really has to be student led in my view. I have it's funny you mentioned that, because I have a CEO of a company who is building this profile. It's called the FOSSI scholarships, of students who want to attend HBCUs and want to study in the STEM disciplines. It's giving out $40,000 scholarships.
Oh man, okay.
And is building capacity to do hundreds and hundreds of students every year. But you got to know about it, right?
You got to know about it, right?
You got to push the information out, and then most importantly, and I wouldn't lose this point, the students have to apply.
Right.
And then I'd say a last thing, from a nugget perspective, is when you're making the college decision, it is really, in my view, more of a heart decision than a head decision. So you're attracted to institutions and people for different reasons. Let that attraction be the thing that guides you. Right. Don't get in your head about things that may not matter in the end. You want a supportive environment, you want quality education, and you want people around you that care about you in a substantive way, to prepare you for your next step in your life.
Right. That's amazing. So those nuggets coming from a president, and that's where, I think value add comes from with the families, right? We're not talking to just, the high school counselor, or not a representative, at the institution, not an education consultant like myself, but we actually have this information of what you need to do, from the president, right? And so these are things that we want families to know. And so my last question for you is, we're really just trying to make sure we make the connection. Let's close the loop for these college-bound families. And so those families who may be interested in Delaware State University, where can they get more information? Who should they contact? Kind of where can they start that process and get more information about Delaware State?
They should go to our website, desu.edu. Again, desu.edu. And for our students, because I know they have other ways to get information, you can catch us on the gram. We have a YouTube channel. We're very active on Twitter and LinkedIn and all those kinds of things as well. And you'll find, I think, a lot of student-led initiatives. So it'll give you a sense of how we're developing students and how they're enjoying their experience as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Dr. Allen, I just want to thank you for your time today and sharing these nuggets, and also exposing students all around the country to Delaware State University. And we are very excited to have you on our Kappa League to Kappa College series.
It's the task of honorable achievement in every field of human endeavor, my brother, which I know you know well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you like what you're hearing and you want to learn more, you can subscribe to Kappa League TV on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook. And we will be connecting students with these institutions throughout this series. You can find more information about me at collegereadiness101.com and at collegereadiness101 on Instagram. We'll see you next time.
Kappa League TV.
I'm Niles Holt, and you're watching Kappa League TV. Since 2019, Kappa Leaguers from across the country have been introducing themselves in similar fashion.
My name is Hunter Goins from Decatur Kappa League, and you're watching Kappa League TV.
Reporting for Kappa League TV, I'm Luke Williams.
Reporting for Kappa League TV, I'm Joshua Hardy.
You're watching Kappa League TV.
You're watching Kappa League TV.
Kappa League is a leadership development program, which is part of GuideRight, the national mentoring initiative of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. GuideRight is the oldest and most successful male mentoring program, primarily for young men of color in U.S. history. Kappa League TV is a YouTube channel that empowers Kappa Leaguers, giving them a voice to tell stories of how the young men and their mentors are impacting their communities.
I'm here at Kennesaw State University with Kappa Leaguers, and they're currently packing snack packs to distribute them to the youth from the Center of Children and Young Adults.
From community service, gaming,
Is it more work or play?
That's a great question.
sports,
What advice do you have for Kappa Leaguers who want to get involved in golf but may not know where to start?
social justice,
Tell us about some of the work you've done in respect to social justice and civil rights issues.
As an entrepreneur yourself, can you tell us about some of the products you completed?
entrepreneurism, and business,
Vote.
You're not old enough to vote, but you're encouraging other people to vote.
voter education, and much more. Kappa Leaguers in major cities all over America have been sharing stories of what matters most to them. Kappa League mentors have partnered directly with HBCU schools and college advocates with the goal of getting 140,000 young men into and graduating from college by 2032. We need your support. Visit Kappa League TV on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and share our stories, and ask people in your network to do the same. This will enable Kappa League TV to grow its message, monetize its stories, and eventually use the YouTube studio in Seattle, Washington to produce more content. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more stories with you. Reporting for Kappa League TV, I'm Niles Holt.